Costco full-size candy bar box.
I mean, yeah.
Because I like to give those out at Halloween, be the good neighbor.
Right, you want to have the big jumbo bars?
30 bars are supposed to be in that thing, and we're down 6 already.
Down 6.
These little kids
It is September 12th, man.
I know.
You got a long ways to go.
They were $8 off. I had to jump at the price.
The thing is, you got to then put them on like a super high shelf. You got
I did.
And
they found them. I hit them 3 times. They found them. I don't know what to do.
My niece and nephew had one of those like 3 Halloweens ago where all the Halloween candy disappeared and they didn't tell their parents, my brother and sister-in-law, that they ate it. And they knew that they ate it, but they were lying about it. And then I think one day they were washing their sheets or something and like tucked behind in the corners of the wall on the side of the mattress, there was like 75 candy wrappers.
Heavyweights?
Just eating just eating those things left and right. Like, I'm not going to blame you. I probably did the same thing when I was a kid.
We got a loaded show today. We got Alex Gold going to join us from Kansas City. I find them one of the more interesting teams. They haven't been 0-2 since 2018.
Been a long time. There was a poll that came out about the most panicked fan bases in the NFL, and they are one of the most panicked fan bases.
Oh, I saw that. I have a segment of who can least afford to go 0-2 this weekend.
Who should legitimately be panicked?
And without Googling, I really am asking everybody here to not text this in because you Googled. I just want to guess, and something to sit on, who is the only team in the 17-game era to start 2-0 every time? It's only been 3 years.
Oh.
There's only one team that has started 2-0.
2-0 every time.
Every time.
Huh.
According to NFL Reddit.
Okay.
So
which is never
caveat.
wrong. We'll believe it.
Yeah.
We'll run with it.
40 days. Sean Kemp, amount of days till the Blazers tip off.
There you go.
Because Sean Kemp will be number 40 forever over Bill Laimbeer.
Yes.
There's no other number 40.
Bill Laimbeer was pretty special, though, man.
Was he?
All those clotheslines.
Oh, yeah.
The enforcer.
Who could forget?
The
when basketball was great.
tippy-toe jumper.
All those great plays.
Oh, man.
All that skill that he had.
I don't think LeBron could handle Bill
no,
Laimbeer.
he couldn't. If Bill Laimbeer played in this era, he dominates.
He
dominates offensively.
40 a game.
You throw him down on the block. Nobody could defend that guy.
Do you want to take back, Swag, your punishment on the Clipper thing? Because that got even worse yesterday.
Ooh,
that did get worse. Like I said, they got to...
There's rumors from Mark Stein that they might strip
now,
his
if Pablo
contract
Torre
away.
is a better
Listen, stop interrupting people on the show. You do it way too much. There is report from Mark Stein that they may strip Kawhi's contract and still keep the numbers on the books for the Clippers.
That is about the worst possible scenario. Because now you got a max deal without any player involved. Although some would argue that's kind of what Kawhi Leonard's career has been in a Clipper uniform.
Fair point.
A max contract for a guy who doesn't really play that often. Hasn't gone well for them.
God, I hope they get hammered.
The Clippers will always be the Clippers. They're just one of those franchises. Like, even with the richest owner in the NBA, they're finding a way to screw it up.
What an idiot that guy.
What are we doing?
Smartest guy in the world becomes the biggest idiot to win.
Developers.
Into cheaters.
That's right.
Football Friday is going to roll on. We start with the Thursday Night Football and the NFC Supremacy. We'll start there. Dirt and Sprague, good to be with you. Let's get it going on this Friday on 105.1 The Fan.
Products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does.
Well, you can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long, starting at just $30 for your first year. That's like $2.50 a month when you break it down.
It's a hell of a deal.
Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started. We have a loaded college football slate and NFL slate to get into today.
Yes, we do.
So we'll kind of go back and forth, back and forth.
I like that. Mix and match a little bit throughout the show.
I think we should start with what we saw last night in the National Football League.
Yeah.
I think my only bummer of that game, because it wasn't a great game to watch. If you're a Packer fan, it's a great game.
Sure, you love watching your team dominate, but for
100%.
non-Packer fan or non-gambling folks on Green Bay, that was not a great game.
I didn't gamble on the game at all. I just watched as a football fan, hoping for a great contest between what seems like is two good teams, and one seems great and the other one seems banged up and not amazing. This is the only reason I hate that Thursday game is like, hey, here's 5 days off. Now travel to Wisconsin and play tackle football.
Not easy to do.
Not easy at all. Washington got off to the worst possible start. They had their fewest yards in a game, and God knows how long. They had 11 yards in the first quarter. They haven't been held down like that in a while.
Nope.
The offense never got clicking. Now, I also, on the other side, the NFC supremacy race of where Green Bay ranks for people, how they stack up in the NFC, because that score says 27-18. That score is not indicative of how dominant that game felt.
Not at all.
By Green Bay last night.
Not at all, dude. That was, and very similar, I thought, to their win over Detroit, where it felt the final score might look a little bit better because Detroit scored a little bit late, but it wasn't really close at all. Green Bay jumped on them early, controlled the entire game, essentially did what they wanted to on both sides of the ball, and they look like right now the best team in the NFL. Now, it's early, but they came in with a lot of hype, a lot of promise. The Micah Parsons trade was a huge deal, and this has been a playoff team the last couple of years despite all the injuries that they went through. And then you add a guy like that to the mix. They look dominant defensively. Washington has been one of the best offenses in the NFL over the last, 18, 19 games. In the regular season. They were great in the playoffs last year. Jaden Daniels had no answers. They couldn't run the football. He was under siege the entire time in the pocket. It felt like every throw in the first half was a check down for 1 or 2 yards. His per throw average for the game was less than 5 yards, so nothing downfield. That was, to me, the story has been through 2 weeks. I think we kind of know who Jordan Love is. He's a good quarterback. They're executing at a decent level offensively. It's been about how dominant they have been defensively. And I think we saw in week 1 with the Detroit game, and we'll get to them today because they have an interesting game in week 2. And the thought was, all right, is that Detroit taking a step back? They don't have Ben Johnson. Are they trying to find their identity offensively? And I think if you're a Lions fan watching that game last night, you feel pretty damn good because Washington's offense moved the ball pretty well against the Giants. They didn't score a ton of points, but they were completely bottled up last night. And I know it's only 2 games, but when you beat teams who were, in the final 4 of the NFC playoff picture last year in your first 2 games of the season in dominant fashion, you deserve the crown as the best team in the NFC right now.
Over Philly.
Over Philly, absolutely.
Really?
I would, like if Green Bay and Philly were playing tomorrow, I would take Green Bay to win that game. Well, I don't know what it means for the playoff chase. Yeah. I don't know what it means for 4 months from now in January when we're into an NFC championship game, but they look dominant, dude. They look the part.
They look every bit the part. I kicked myself last night because when they got Parsons, I'm like, dude, that's a Super Bowl type difference move, and then we did playoff picks, and I was on a hot seat, and I just somehow didn't pick him to make playoffs, and I will already flip that. Should we be concerned about Jaden Daniels 2 games in? He's at a 59 completion percentage, a 6.0 average. Now, he doesn't have any picks. You know, a bit of a slow start. Now, they dominated on the ground against the Giants, but he wasn't stellar in that game. I watched him have some missed throws there. He was 19 of 30, but, you know, we talked about the sophomore slumps, right? It wasn't – there's a few quarterbacks it wasn't the greatest start for. Drake May didn't have a great game. Bo Nix didn't play well. Jaden Daniels has not played well.
Nope.
Caleb did not play well.
No.
The sophomore slumps are kind of kicking in a little bit. Any concern about Jaden Daniels? Because it was the greatest of rookie seasons.
Yes, it was.
And so I think we instantly just, it's automatic he's going to be a Lamar Burrow, Allen, Mahomes guy.
Top 5.
And maybe he will, and it's a 2-game slump. But I thought their offense, those 2 touchdowns are the most misleading stat from last night. Got a garbage one from Debo at the end. Didn't want to come out of the game even after banging up his ankle. I haven't been overly impressed so far. A lot of balls are coming in low. A lot of Charlie checkdowns last night, and that's credit to Green Bay's defense and pressure, by the way. But any cause for concern at all?
Yeah, I think the question that I will have about him going forward is he has played you can make the argument the Giants have the best defensive line in football. At least they're in the conversation for it. They should be very good up front all year. And then you go against a team in Green Bay who just added the best pass rusher in the league. And when you're down early, what was the score? 14-3 at the half. So you're coming out in the second half, and it's a little bit more of an obvious passing situation, and Parsons can kind of pin his ears back and get after you. That's the only thing that I'll say about him long term. It's 2 games. It has not been overly impressive. He's been sacked 7 times through 2 games so far this season. And it felt like, especially even early on in the game when they were trying to have some balance offensively, there was no time for him to throw the football. And so I think it's a collective concern about them offensively of, one, where is the running game going to be at as the season goes on? They couldn't run the ball at all last night, and he had a decent amount of rushing yards in week 1, and they did as a team, but last night they were completely bottled up. And if the offensive line doesn't hold up, what does that mean for him? He had a moment in the first half where he had to escape the pocket right away because Parsons beat whoever he beat on the offensive line. And he's essentially looking behind him because he's worried Parsons is going to chase him down like he did to Jared Goff at the end of the game last week. And as he turns around, here comes a corner who then takes out his knees and he flips over, and it's those kind of hits and pressure that can derail your season. We saw this with Houston last year. C.J. Stroud had a great rookie season. We all put him on a pedestal of how good he's going to be in year 2. They were decimated by injuries offensively. The offensive line was not very good. They figured it out in time to win a playoff game, and they went to the playoffs because their division wasn't very good. But that kind of stuff can spoil a special season. So I'm more worried about their offensive line early than I am Jaden Daniels.
I thought that first half drive by Washington was egregious. It just felt like the most safe way to do a drive to get 3 points. And I'm like,
let's get something on the board here.
You have all your timeouts. You got Jaden Daniels.
Right.
I felt like their offense kind of went in that game sleepwalking. They were clunky. They were slow.
Yeah, to your point, it could be a Thursday night. You're traveling early in the season and you're just groggy and tired, man.
I thought the best part of that game, and again, if you're a Green Bay fan, and we can carry this over of looking at some of the NFC stuff very early in the NFL slate, I thought the best part of that game, I thought of Swag. Swag, I thought the best part of that game last night was Al Michaels on the broadcast admitting he ditched the Reds for the Giants for the money.
He did, yeah. Right before they won the World Series, too, right? Didn't he leave the year before, and then Marty Brennaman called it winning the World Series the next year?
That was hilarious.
And the Giants did not win a World Series until 2010, so he didn't get to call any of that.
Because Herb Street shouts out that they won it the next year after he left, and he goes, yeah, I left. I went to the Giants for more money. What else is new? I thought he was good.
I thought he was solid.
Week 1.
For an older guy who you're wondering how much of his fastball he has left, I had no issues with Al Michaels last night.
Isn't he 80?
He's up there, dude.
I think he's 80.
That sounds about right.
That's pretty impressive to be. I thought he did a good job last night.
He turns 81 in November.
That's crazy.
81 in November.
He's already past the expiration date of every average American, and he's calling football games.
Still got it, man. I don't know. He's not throwing 98 anymore, but he'll hit you with 92 on the corner. He can still get you out. He's got movement. He's got a cutter. He still has it a little bit.
Got a little Glavin in him.
He's
not touching the upper 90s.
He's a closer now, you know.
Jamie Moyer in him.
We're not going 8 innings tonight. We don't need you to go 8 innings. Can you give me 3? Can you give me 3 at the back end of the game?
Every once in a while, that Wakefield knuckleball, man, it drops, and you're just, what happened? I can't hit that ball. I thought that was a good game for him.
It was a great game for Al Michaels, one of the few highlights, because it was, you get these where you get hyped up, and it's two teams that were in the playoffs last year and maybe an NFC title game preview, and it might end up being that. Who knows? Long ways to go.
Would you gamble that right now? That
I would not
Washington looks
gamble that right now. No, I would not. But a lot of things have changed, and through 3 weeks last year, the Saints were an unstoppable offensive force that we haven't seen the likes of since the greatest show on turf in the St. Louis Rams. But it's always a bummer when a game like that doesn't quite live up to the hype. Felt like it was going to be a low-scoring defensive struggle early, and then the Packers hit a couple explosive plays, and then it's 14-3, and you're like, I don't think Washington can come back from this.
The under hit, didn't it?
The under hit?
Under hit?
The under hit last night.
You called it.
Hey, I'll take unders right there.
Yeah.
Short week. Unders are on fire out of the gate early in the NFL season. Sans like 2 games.
Yeah, I liked the Packers, but that hook kind of scared me away, and I didn't end up gambling on it.
Yeah. I don't blame you at all for that. I stayed away from a side last night. I didn't have a strong feeling on it either way. But I think we're starting to open our eyes a little bit to what's going on in old Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I want to talk about something you said there that we didn't really stick on. So we'll get to that and other NFL matchups that are very interesting this week, and the slate is going to be a lot of fun. So we'll get to that coming up next. But first, Jason T. Swigard with a sports update.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Packers making their case to be the early season Super Bowl favorites. They controlled the Commanders from start to finish Thursday night, a 27-18 victory. Jordan Love, 19 of 31 for 292 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air for Green Bay. Injuries for both sides. Washington fearing they've lost running back Austin Eckler for the season with an Achilles injury, while Packers wide receiver Jaden Reed suffered a broken collarbone. Ducks and Beavers both hit the road for the first time this season. Number 6 Oregon hoping to just keep it rolling at Northwestern. Bright and early 9 a.m. kickoff in Evanston. They're 28.5-point favorites. Kickoff here on the Fan at 9 a.m. Live pregame coverage will start at 6 a.m. As for Oregon State, they're just trying to execute a long snap, find some consistency in Lubbock. They're 23.5-point underdogs against number 21 Texas Tech. 12:30 kick on Fox 12 Oregon. Seahawks' first road trip of the season takes them to Pittsburgh Sunday morning. They'll face the Steelers. Pittsburgh 3-point favorites. It's a 10 a.m. kick right here on the Fan. Pre-game coverage begins at 8 a.m., and the Soto Mojo is alive and well in Seattle. They made it 6 in a row, beating the Angels 7-6 in 12 innings. Harry Ford logged his first Major League RBI with a game-winning sac fly. Mariners start the day tied with the Astros for the lead in the AL West. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Heard missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George